Hey there, welcome to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. All right, it's time to come on and share some Criterion Collection recommendations. We anticipate a potential 24-hour flash sale on the Criterion.com site sometime in February or March. That's based on previous history where typically Criterion holds a flash sale 2 times a year. One flash sale in the February-March timeframe and a second flash sale in the October timeframe shortly before the 50% off sale at Barnes & Noble. So if that history holds up, we might be seeing a 24-hour flash sale on the Criterion website sometime later in February or maybe in March. What they typically do is on a Tuesday at noon, the sale will start, and then the sale will run from Tuesday noon until the following Wednesday at noon. So it's a 24-hour flash sale, time sensitive, and during that time, all titles on the Criterion site are 50% off. So a great deal and a great time to pick up titles that might be on your list. So in keeping with that, I thought I would share some recommendations. So I've got a collection of 12 titles over here that I'm going to share with you. And on the other side of this, I'm going to get into these titles, and I want to hear from you what you think about these titles and what titles you would recommend for an upcoming flash sale. So let's get into it. All right, it's time to get into these recommended titles for what we hope to be, fingers crossed, a 24-hour flash sale. Now, the first 4 titles that I'm going to show are from a couple of directors that are near and dear to my heart, starting with a director that we recently lost back in the middle of January, David Lynch. Now, David Lynch has a number of titles in the Criterion Collection, and I'm going to highlight 2 titles in this video as recommendations for the flash sale. David Lynch's films can be a little bit hard to grasp. Sometimes they're very difficult to understand or comprehend what in the world is going on in this movie, right? So I've recommended a couple of titles that still have that David Lynch mystery, but are a little bit more easier to apprehend, to understand, to really get your arms around. So these are a couple of titles from David Lynch I'm gonna recommend. I'm also gonna recommend a couple titles from director Bong Joon-ho. And then I've got 8 more titles as part of these recommendations. These are, I think, an eclectic mix of titles, because I know that people have different tastes. You know, everyone doesn't like the same thing. Some people like contemporary films, some people like, older films, some people like some people like a blend of films from around the world, some people just like American films. So there's something here for everybody, I think. So I'm definitely looking forward to hearing in the comments section what you think about these recommendations. I also want to get your comments on the audio in this video. I just recently got a microphone that literally got delivered just a few minutes ago. It is the DJI Mic 2, got delivered from Amazon. So I'm trying this wireless setup here that's tied into my Sony a7 IV camera. So I want to get your thoughts on the audio quality. How does this sound to you, as well as the video quality? Let me know that in the comment section. I'm trying to level up the production value here. But of course, the most important thing is the content that we present. But let's get into these titles here from Criterion. So a couple of titles from David Lynch, and I'll go ahead and present them both right here. Blue Velvet and Lost Highway. These are both 4K editions from Criterion, and these are both wonderful films from David Lynch. If you're someone that you've never seen a film from David Lynch and you're thinking, hey, what is a good entry point into his filmography? These are a couple of titles I can definitely recommend, starting with Blue Velvet from 1986, starring Kyle MacLachlan, Isabella Rossellini, and Laura Dern. This is, as well as Dennis Hopper. This is a fantastic film. It's about a young man who comes across this human ear in a field, and that begins this investigation that leads him to this woman played by Isabella Rossellini, and that leads down some very mysterious paths as they try to investigate this mystery. Dennis Hopper is a psychopath who is controlling Isabella Rossellini's character, controlling her life. And he is a very menacing character. And Laura Dern plays a very nice character in this film, the young lady who is one of the love interests of Kyle MacLachlan's Jeffrey Beaumont in this film. This is a film from 1986. It's 120 minutes and it's available on 4K Ultra HD and it looks stunning on 4K. It's a very nice upgrade from the Criterion Blu-ray that I already have, that I upgraded from, that I'll be giving away on this channel at some point. But it's a stunning upgrade that I highly recommend. I also highly recommend David Lynch's Lost Highway on 4K Ultra HD. This is a fantastic film that stars Bill Pullman and Patricia Arquette. Bill Pullman is a musician who, it gets into some mysterious territory. It's a meditation on the mysterious nature of identity. And it's just a fantastic film. It's a film that goes to some very dark places. His life takes a bizarre and terrifying turn as he receives some mysterious videotapes at his doorstep. So you'll get lost in this film, but you will be richly rewarded if you stick with this film all the way to the end. It's a very satisfying conclusion to this film. This is a very nice digipack from Criterion. And I just highly, highly recommend this film. Bill Pullman, Patricia Arquette, masterfully performed. And this 4K looks amazing. It's amazing looking 4K. It comes in at 134 minutes and it looks fantastic. It's a great film. And it's got, both of these films have just enough mystery and intrigue that don't leave you completely lost. So you're able to sort of appreciate the journey and feel like you have a pretty good understanding of what you've just watched. So definitely can recommend both of these titles from David Lynch, Blue Velvet and Lost Highway on 4K Ultra HD. Also, a couple of titles here from Bong Joon-ho. So those are 2 titles there, 10 to go, starting with director Bong Joon-ho, who has given us some amazing films that are in the collection, including these 2 right here. Parasite and Memories of Murder. Both of these are Blu-ray editions in Criterion. Parasite is spine 1054 and Memories of Murder is spine 1073. Parasite is the 2019 film that made history as being the first foreign language film to win Best Picture at the Academy Awards. Amazing film. It's a zeitgeist defining film that deals with 2 families in this film. A poor family in Japan, a rich family in Japan, and the poor family basically scheming and taking advantage of the rich family in very innovative ways that are funny. It's interesting, fascinating, just the schemes that they go through to infiltrate themselves into the lives of this rich family. And along the way, some unexpected things happen that brings more intrigue and mystery into what's gonna, happen in this movie. Amazing film. Song Kang-ho is the patriarch of the poor family. He also plays the detective in this film, Memories of Murder, which is based in part on a true story. It's these detectives who are investigating these serial killings in South Korea that took place in the late 1980s. So this is a film from 2003. It's 131 minutes. It is available on Blu-ray. Parasite is also available from Blu-ray from the Criterion Collection. And although Parasite has a 4K edition from the studio, this Blu-ray from Criterion was based off of a 4K digital master, and it is very comparable to the quality of that 4K. And the other benefit of getting this Criterion edition is that you also get the black and white version of Parasite, which is pretty cool to watch. It's a slightly different experience seeing this film in black and white. But this film won Best Picture at the Academy Awards for a reason. And when you see it, it will blow you away. It's fantastic. Memories of Murder, also amazing film. Song Kang-ho played the detective, one of the detectives in this film, which this film came out 16 years before Parasite. So it's a younger Song Kang-ho, but just an amazing collection of films here from Bong Joon-ho in the collection, along with Okja from 2017, I think, that has a 4K. So some pretty nice films from Bong Joon-ho in the collection. Now, of course, Bong Joon-ho is coming out with a new film that's coming to the theaters in March that is my most anticipated title so far, of films to see in 2025, and that is Mickey 17. This is a film that's based off of the book or the novel Mickey 7 that I saw in Barnes & Noble recently. And now this film, Mickey 17, is coming out. Stars Robert Pattinson. It's a futuristic film. It deals with these people who are expendables. They basically go through these experiments. They die. They come back again as a clone version, and then they die in another clone version, and something happens, and things go haywire. That's really all I know about it. I've seen a couple of trailers. I'm looking forward to checking it out. So that's Mickey 17. Let me know in the comment section if you are looking forward to seeing the latest from Bong Joon-ho. Now, another title from Bong Joon-ho that's not in the collection that I will mention here is a title that you might want to check out. It has a new 4K steelbook, and that is Snowpiercer. This is a film from Bong Joon-ho that stars Chris Evans, Tilda Swinton, Octavia Spencer. You have just a fantastic cast. Song Kang-ho, who is the patriarch of The Poor Family and Parasite and the detective in Memories of Murder, also appears in Snowpiercer, as well as Bong Joon-ho himself. This is a futuristic tale about basically a disaster epic where humankind is destroyed, the atmosphere catapulted us into a new ice age, and the last remaining survivors of humanity are piled upon this big train called the Snowpiercer that is circling the Earth and in this new ice age. And it's basically a social commentary on class differences and how the different levels of society are treated based on differences in socioeconomic status. It's called Snowpiercer. It spawned a TV series by the same name, and it is a fantastic film. It has a new 4K steelbook. I have not picked up that 4K steelbook, but let me know in the comment section if you have. But yeah, a couple of recommendations from Bong Joon-ho. He's got a new film coming out. Snowpiercer's got a 4K. So that's some love to David Lynch and Bong Joon-ho. Now we've got 8 titles to go in this recommendations video, and I'm going to hop right into the next one. This is the 1960 film Peeping Tom. That's got a 4K Ultra HD release from the Criterion Collection. This is Michael Powell's film. This is Michael Powell of the partnership of Powell and Pressburger, which gave us some amazing films like The Red Shoes, Black Narcissus, The Tales of Hoffman, so many amazing films in the Criterion Collection. This is Peeping Tom. This is Michael Powell directing on his own. He produced and directed this film. This is a film that nearly destroyed Michael Powell's career, and you'll learn more about that in the special features, but this is an amazing film. It deals with a serial killer. He is a young man who is into photography, into voyeurism, and he unfortunately kills people. And so you follow some period during his life and sort of following his activities and his relationships with the people in his apartment complex. And it really develops into a very fascinating story about voyeurism and obsession that I highly recommend. This 4K looks extraordinary. It is an extraordinary looking 4K picture. It's a Technicolor film, and this film looks absolutely amazing on 4K. It's one of the best looking catalog titles you'll see on 4K. This is a film from 1960, so it's 65 years old, and it looks extraordinary on this 4K disc. I highly recommend it. You're getting a Dolby Vision HDR on this 4K. It looks amazing, and it has some really nice special features. Michael Powell was married to longtime editor Thelma Schoonmaker, who has done a number of Martin Scorsese's films. So both Ms. Schoonmaker and Martin Scorsese are featured on the features on here. So they talk about Michael Powell and his career and the impact that this film had on his career, and just their overall appreciation of this film and the work that went into restoring it and bringing it to us on 4K from Criterion. This is Spine 38 or 58, Spine 58. It's an upgrade of the existing Blu-ray in the collection, and it comes highly recommended. Peeping Tom on 4K. So that's Peeping Tom. The next title I'll recommend is a title from director Gordon Parks. Gordon Parks gave us Shaft from 1971. Amazing film starring Richard Roundtree, who recently passed away in the last, I think, year or so. This is a film that came out prior to Shaft, a couple of years prior in 1969, and it is The Learning Tree, is Spine 1107. This was one of the last titles to come out in the year it came out, and I think in 2022. Amazing film from Gordon Parks. This film made history as the first Black American director, Gordon Parks, to make a Hollywood studio film. That is The Learning Tree. It's from 1969, 107 minutes, and is semi-autobiographical in that it covers the life of a young man in 1920s Kansas growing up. And this basically tells a little bit of the story of Gordon Parks as a young person. Is semi-autobiographical because that's Gordon Parks' background, where he grew up. And so he's telling a little bit about his experiences dealing with racism, the educational system, and of course, young romance. So a lot of different things going on in this film. Semi-autobiographical is The Learning Tree, a film by Gordon Parks, Spine 1107. Very satisfying historical edition from Criterion. Highly recommended. This is a 2K digital restoration. Looks nice on Blu-ray, and it's a very nice film with some nice special features. So definitely check out The Learning Tree. Now, we have 6 down and 6 to go. Starting with a title that came out in 2024 that was one of my favorites of 2024. This is a film that I really enjoyed revisiting from the 1980s. It was from the early 80s, the Ronald Reagan era. And this film is a fantastic time capsule that captures the zeitgeist and essence of the why do I keep saying Reagan era, the early 1980s. And it is Risky Business, starring Tom Cruise. This film made Tom Cruise a star. This is a film that was directed by Paul Brickman. An amazing film starring Tom Cruise, Rebecca De Mornay. And this film is just, I cannot say enough good things about this movie. From the direction, the production, the acting, the score by Tangerine Dream. This film, revisiting it, reminded me how awesome this film is. I have not seen this film in a number of years. And when I got finished watching this, I was like, this film is better than I remembered. This film is really, really good. There's a reason why this film is now in the Criterion Collection. This is an amazing film. It is one of those just awesome coming of age films from the 1980s that I think in some ways is a little bit maybe underappreciated. It is a fantastic film that really catapulted Tom Cruise to stardom. You see this amazing, famous scene where he's, sliding into this view of this frame here in his underwear and singing Bob Seger's old time rock and roll. This film is amazing. It has some nice special features that tell you a lot about the production of this film. And I mean, I really enjoyed revisiting Risky Business. It's Spine 1227 in the collection, and it's highly, highly recommended. Another title in the collection that came out in 2024 is another film that I was blown away by. I saw this for the first time in this edition. It's a film from 2023, so it's a new film from Wim Wenders based upon his experiences in Japan. This is his love letter to Japan. He fell in love with his visit to Japan. He fell in love with the country and wanted to make a film about it, and he did with Perfect Days. This is an amazing film about a toilet cleaner in Tokyo, played by Koji Yakushi. It's a very simple premise, but there's more depth to the story as you learn more about his background. You don't learn everything about him, but you learn enough that gives you more of an appreciation for this man and maybe some of his motivations, but still leaving some mystery about his life. And it's just an amazing film. He appreciates nature. He appreciates the simplicity of his life and his daily routines. And this is played out beautifully in this film. He's a public toilet cleaner. He cleans these really high-end specialized public toilets in Tokyo, Japan. And the scenery is beautiful. This is him looking up at the trees and just appreciating nature. There's some wonderful music in this film because this character, he has a very interesting song playlist that you'll appreciate watching this film. And it's just a beautiful meditation on life. I really enjoyed it. Life and Human Connection. Perfect Days. 4K Ultra HD. Looks amazing. Beautiful picture. It's almost perfect. And I highly recommend it. This is Spine 1226 in the collection. So Highly recommend Perfect Days. Now, the next title in the Criterion Collection that I'll recommend, I've got 4 more to go, starting with this title from Ekwa Masanji. This is her, I believe, her directorial debut. It comes in at spine number 1128. It's a film that came out during the pandemic in 2020. And it is a film that is a beautiful family story that I really enjoyed and highly recommend. It's called Farewell Amor. It's basically about an African family who, after many years of being apart, come back together. They're reunited in New York City, and it deals with their challenges reuniting after being apart for so many years. It's a family of 3. The father, they're living in Africa. The father went to go to the United States to New York City to go to work as I think a cab driver. He sends money back home. And as it turned out, it took many years, 17 years, for his wife and daughter to make their way to the United States. So they've been apart for 17 years. So as you can imagine, there are some challenges with them, getting reacquainted with one another in terms of the marriage, him now seeing his now teenage daughter that he last saw when she was a baby. So there's a lot of catching up, reacquainting to do, and that brings some challenges. I mean, the wife has changed. She has had a religious conversion. She is very much more into the things of God and her Christianity. And so that is an aspect of this film. He has changed in probably not as great of areas. And so they have changed as people, and that's part of the challenges that they're working through in this film. So Farewell Amor, highly recommended, from director Ekwa Masanji. So I got 3 more to go, 9 down, 3 to go. This next one is a title that I enjoyed years ago, kind of earlier in my Criterion collecting days. This is spine number 681 in the collection. And this is a film from the filmmaking team of Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig. Team as in they're a couple in Hollywood who are big time directors in Hollywood. This is a film starring Greta Gerwig, directed by Noah Baumbach. It's called Frances Ha. This film is from 2013. It's shot in black and white. It's 86 minutes, so it doesn't keep you long. It's really a good film about a young woman who's in her late 20s in contemporary New York City, trying to figure out and sort out her ambitions in life, her relationships, trying to figure out who she is and where she wants to go. Frances Ha is a fantastic film. This is the dual format edition. So this is the Blu-ray and the DVD. Back when Criterion was doing dual format, if you were to pick this up today, you would get a Blu-ray edition. But if you happen to find a copy of the dual format in the stores, definitely get that dual format edition because they don't print those anymore. But this is Spine 681, and this is a really nice film. It's a very satisfying film about sort of a coming of age film about the life of a young person growing up in the Big Apple and just trying to figure herself out. So Frances Ha. Highly recommend it. And now we've got 2 more titles. So I've covered 10 titles that are sort of on the newer end of films that have come out in the last, 40 years. So films that are more recent that I think a lot of you can appreciate. But I've got a couple of titles here that are on the older side of things, more classic type films for those of you who want to sort of sink your teeth into some classics that maybe you have not seen yet. Starting with this 11th recommendation from French director Jean Renoir that now has a 4K upgrade, but I have the Blu-ray of this Spine 216, The Rules of the Game. So this film came out, this is a 1939 film, it's 106 minutes, and it deals with the corruption of French society and sort of a comedy of errors in this fantastic weekend at a country chateau or club, as you have this group of French bourgeoisie getting together and just seeing the flaws in their character, so to speak. Just a really interesting film about a variety of people gathered over this weekend, and it's one of the greatest films ever made. It is a film from Jean Renoir. This is the 1939 film, and of course you see the Criterion artwork on the Blu-ray edition. The 4K has new artwork. So typically on these 4K upgrades, everything is the same in terms of the artwork, the special features. It's all kept the same. You just have a 4K disc. In the case of The Rules of the Game and in the case of La Samurai, that came out last year, they actually changed the artwork. So you get new artwork on the 4K versus what you have in this Blu-ray edition. I have not upgraded my copy to 4K yet. I've heard that it's, based on the Blu-ray.com review, I didn't get the sense that the upgrade was notable enough to warrant an upgrade. And although I like this film a lot, it's not one of those films that I just absolutely have to have on 4K. So for now, I'm sticking with my Blu-ray copy of The Rules of the Game. All right, so that brings us to the last title that I'm going to recommend in this video. And it's a title that is very high on my list of recommendations for those who want a nice classic film, black and white film from the 1950s, with some very powerful performances from two acting powerhouses. In this case, it's Burt Lancaster and Tony Curtis in this Spine 5555 of this 1957 film called Sweet Smell of Success. This is an amazing film about a press agent who's played, who's basically, played by Tony Curtis. He plays Sidney Falco, who is a unprincipled press agent. And of course, you have Burt Lancaster playing this gentleman named Hunsaker, who is a newspaper magnate. And they butt heads in this film, and it is an absolutely fantastic film. They butt heads in New York City. It's the 1950s. And you have Tony Curtis basically running here and there, trying to hustle. And it is really entertaining watching his character. Like, I was really entertained by just seeing Tony Curtis pop up in this Western that I recently reviewed on this channel. Do I have it here? Oh, here it is. On Winchester 73. Yeah, I recently reviewed Winchester 73 starring James Stewart. And to my surprise, Tony Curtis actually appears as a minor character in that 1950 film. But this is him in 1957. So now he's a big time star, and he and Burt Lancaster are butting heads in this awesome, awesome film from Alexander McKendrick. Really good film. This is a nice digipack edition that's in the Criterion Collection. Of course, this young lady here plays the sister of Burt Lancaster's character in this movie. Just a really good film that I highly recommend if you like classic films. This is a black and white film from the 1950s, and I highly recommend it. Now, quick note, if you're concerned about, is this going to get a 4K upgrade? Who knows? It might not. It's one of those things where this film is so excellent that I just recommend you just go ahead and get it. If a 4K upgrade happens, so be it. Ultimately, folks, we're here about the films. It's about the movies. It's about enjoying the films themselves. And sometimes we need to sort of not worry so much about, is it going to get a 4K upgrade or not? You never know. Don't let that stop you from enjoying the film. So that's my little mini soapbox on that. This is a great film that I highly, highly recommend. Sweet Smell of Success. It's from 1957. It comes in at 96 minutes, so it doesn't keep you long, and it's highly recommended. So yeah, I've got a nice stack of titles to recommend to you for this upcoming, what we hope to be an upcoming flash sale. So I'll hold them up here for you now. Some of these are on 4K, some of these are on Blu-ray, and they're all highly, highly recommended. Of course, you got Blue Velvet, now available on 4K along with Lost Highway. These are two excellent titles from David Lynch. A couple of titles from Bong Joon-ho and Parasite and Memories of Murder. Michael Powell's Peeping Tom, The Learning Tree from Gordon Parks, Risky Business. This is the Paul Brickman film starring Tom Cruise and Rebecca De Mornay. Perfect Days, the Wim Wenders film, his love letter to Japan. Farewell Amor, the wonderful family story from Ekwa Masanji. Frances Ha from Noah Baumbach, starring Greta Gerwig. The Rules of the Game, the Jean Renoir French film. And Sweet Smell of Success, the film from director Alexander McKendrick, starring Burt Lancaster and Tony Curtis, father of Jamie Lee Curtis. So yeah, 12 amazing titles, highly recommended. Let me know in the comment section below, what do you think about these recommendations? Do you have any of these? If so, what do you think about them? Also, let me know what titles you would recommend in this upcoming flash sale. And also let me know what titles you are currently enjoying in the Criterion Collection. I think Criterion's off to a nice start in 2025. Let me know what titles from 2025 or even previous years that you are currently enjoying watching today. Let me know all that in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Let me set these down and wish you peace.